It is event 3 of the F1 Sim Racing World Championship 2026, and the scene was set for a brilliant quali. Drivers in for replacing their teammates in our round 8 of this amazing series, as we see Otis Lawrence shaking his head. But that man, making his 88th start in quali, has managed to conclude his 20th pole position. Now, I was basically thinking about another stat just a second ago, and that's why I'm tongue-tied. We started going racing in Zandvoort in 2020, and one of my guests right here finished 6th that day. Brendan Lee, congratulations, well done for coming back for day 2. I said it wasn't going to happen. You're here. Thank you very much. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I had a great flapjack with lunch, and I can't ask for more.
Nicola Hume, I did you a disservice there. Running around, chatting to all of the drivers, we were treated to a brilliant quali, which we saw the kind of the response and reaction to some of those drivers, but it had a little bit of everything.
It's been a bit up and down, I think. I mean, I know you always expect when it comes to a quali interview, anyone that goes out in Q1, anyone that goes out in Q2, you know it's going to be a little bit negative. And it felt very negative. I think because we're getting so close towards the end of the season, it's now really hitting people if they're not doing a good quali session. But then, after Q3...
OK, hit me with it.
I got a high five and a smile from Freddie Rasmussen. Now, I don't want to say that's made my entire day, but it may have made my entire year.
Well, it made my year when the fact is after yesterday, we had a race around Spa and quali. Brendan was with us. And by popular demand, we put it on the WhatsApp group. We said, should Brendan come back for day 2? We all voted on it, and you're back. Fabulous insight into what the drivers are going through right now. Some of them flying high from quali, for the likes of Freddie Rasmussen, that's his 20th pole position. He must be feeling good. But drivers further down, maybe like Jarno, potentially some of the drivers, Jarno will be starting in 6th. But someone like Otis, who the rear just escaped him, couldn't get the grip. He'll be sort of feeling downhearted a little bit right now.
Yeah, of course. He's young, isn't he? Second season, hunting for his first World Drivers' Championship. The pressure is high, but what an amazing achievement as an 18-year-old to be fighting for a World Championship against Freddie Rasmussen, Jarno Opmeer, who've basically been here since the very start, right? So full testament to him that he has so much emotion, drive and passion, and you see that spill out sometimes. Of course, he's angry at himself for a mistake, but what world champion is not angry after a mistake?
Well, I've seen you lose it a few times, Brendan, so I totally agree with that. Let's have a recap of quali, some of those highlights, and we'll talk about that moment again from Otis Lawrence. And they are perfectionists, and when it doesn't go their way, they definitely show their emotions. Josh Ido back in to that Alpine team after picking up a P2 around Barcelona. He stepped in for Danny Bresny, who finished P5 yesterday. But it started Q1. You caught up with most of it. Well, we're looking at Ferrari. We may as well throw in the Ferrari ambassador. Impressed with Barry and what he was able to do. Very quick out there.
Yeah, I mean, coming in halfway through the season to pop it straight up in a competitive result, as we see Duncan going around there. Easy mistake, I've done that myself. But yeah, fully impressed with Barry, and I don't just say that because of the shirt.
What was happening? A few drivers are sort of not getting the traction they wanted. Is it because of the setup of the car, potentially, coming into the final corner?
Just high risk, high reward round here. The rear tyres gain so much tyre temp during the lap. They fade away on grip. As you can see, Nicolas Longuet here sliding wide onto the outside curbing. That mistake actually originated from turn-in, Caraton as well, just sliding it round, able to do a nice save before the barriers. But yeah, rear tyre temps going through the roof, losing grip as the corner progresses on.
Out in Q1, both Haas drivers, you caught up with them, Nicola. Yoni Torminer as well. He came in for Ulash, your winner yesterday. Lights went out. They didn't have too much to say on that. There's not much you can say from that situation. Out of Q2, Jake Benham, Duncan Houghlin, Tico Hardy, also Tom Malley and Ishmael Fassi. Surprised Ishmael Fassi going out?
Surprised at Ishmael. I had a little chat with him after that, after he went out in Q2, and he seemed a little bit disappointed because he slightly missed the apex, he said. But it was one of those where I was excited by what he said, because he did say he's expecting chaos within this race, and that's kind of what he wants, which I found quite interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Bit of chaos?
Bit of chaos. Are we going to see it?
I mean,
in terms of chaos, as Alex Jakes, our commentator, mentioned, it's dry conditions. They're perfect. You just have to absolutely give your best. Chaos from Freddie. We never see chaos from Freddie. What did you make of that lap that was able to put him on pole?
Spectacular, you know, and I have no shame in admitting I wouldn't be able to do that, you know, because he's at such a level. He's always been really precise. If you watch his steering inputs, delicate in reducing the brake pedal as he goes into the corner, just smoothly in, smoothly out. So you can see on the broadcast at the moment into turn 1 and smoothly into the corner, using the banking to his advantage. Bottom right hand side of the screen is his delta to already provisional his PB so far, what was already fastest of the session. Low down in the banking in the F1 game, better grip down there that we have. Arriving to the end of sector 1, using the overtake button to gain a bit more battery power through the right-hander, and you're going to downshift. Actually, he does not downshift. I would have downshifted because I have a skill issue. Through the right-hander and now into the second. Easy to pick up grass on the inside here, third gear, and you can see ever so delicate on the throttle, flicking it left, and again, delicate on the throttle here, not to pick up any wheel spin. Ending sector 2. Now, this is where you start to watch and start to think about your tyre temps as you go through the chicane. Commit over the inside curbing, keep the car tight on the exit, and the corner that we've been talking about, the final apex of the lap. Track dips down, you lose a bit of traction and grip, but he handles it perfectly. Run up to the line, don't go too tight here, use the banking to your advantage, up to the line, and that is his pole position lap by Freddie Rasmussen.
I tell you what, when you look at his stats, this could be today, if he lands on the podium, his 47th in his history. It's his 88th start. Will he be taking the 18th win more than any other driver? And Nicola, someone we didn't see there, Freddie was fantastic. Someone congratulated him first.
Yeah.
And that was Barry. What happened? Remind us of that.
It was Barry Barrowman. So just before we went live for the interview with Freddie, literally Barry come running up to him, they dapped. It was a good dap. And just said, that's what I expect to see from you. It's really nice, the support that the drivers are giving each other. The amount of drivers that were going up to Freddie in that arena after he had just got that pole position was wonderful. And it seems like when everyone is on a high and being friendly, then you can go and congratulate other people. Slightly different when it came to Otis, because he was the first one to leave the room. He obviously wasn't happy about that.
That's really interesting. It hasn't quite gone to plan so far. Event 3 for Otis. We'll touch on that a little bit later on. But I'd like to see the driver standings as we see the guy on pole who'll be starting. He's picked up another point. Well done, Freddie. He's now on 80. He's in second place. And Otis Lawrence, 13 points ahead of him, just knows what he has to do, which is just to keep acquiring points. We've heard it's quoted from Jarno Opmeer. Every point counts in this competition. Jarno is in third at the moment. And Ulas, who's not even racing today, wonder whether he will stay on fourth place. Constructor standings, as we like to call them in the F1 Sim Racing world, team standings. It's all about the team, $750,000 prize pool spread between all of these teams. And interesting, as you see from top to bottom, Aston Martin down there in ninth at the moment, but how important would it be for Ruben Pedreno if he starts P3 to pick up a podium for them as a team and for driver himself?
I am excited for Ruben. I mean, I spoke to him earlier and he is in such high spirits. And he said it's because this is his favourite circuit. He loves Zandvoort. He also loves Bahrain. And the last time we raced in Bahrain, over in DreamHack in Birmingham for Event 1, he got on the podium. He was in P3. But it's really interesting to see how he's going to get on today because he's in such an interesting position where he's starting the race. In front of him, you've got legends of the sport. You've got Barry Borremund. You've got Freddie Rasmussen. Behind him, you've got Jarno Opmeer and Otis Lawrence, who are battling for a championship right now. And then you've got Ruben just kind of sat in the middle of all of them. And I feel like it's going to be a very heated first few corners.
Yeah, it was a fascinating interview. I look forward to maybe seeing what he could do today. Something that a brilliant team here at the Formula One Media and Technology Centre have put together is this graphic. I love this. This feels like I could go to my local newsagents and buy the cards of the driver. That's what it reminds me of. These are your winners from all of the 7 rounds we've had so far. Our 8th round is coming up in moments away from it, Circuit Zandvoort. And it's great to see. There's a lot of blue in there, Brendan. Thoughts on that as you're wearing the red of Ferrari? Maybe someone with a different colour, maybe a bit of red in there would be nice?
I think no comment.
No comment. Fair enough.
Move on, move swiftly on now.
Drivers to watch then, Brendan. Who should you be focusing on? I'll come to you in a second, because I'm going to say it has to be Freddie. It can't be anyone other than Freddie right now. Starts in pole. It's for him to lose this race. If they get the strategy right, you mentioned about like a 1-stop, a 2-stop potentially coming up for this. We spoke off air, Brendan. I'll get your thoughts on that as well. But it's Freddie's to lose. I mean, if he's feeling confident, he said he's neglected this track to practice on the most, which is worrying as a driver. Is that fair to say, Brendan? If he's neglected practice on this one and he thinks it's the easiest, and he's putting out a 107.046.
Well, Freddie's just a machine at the end of the day, and I think I would never speak about being worried as a driver because you should only be worried about your own performance, not someone else's, right? But speaking more on a broadcast sense, then I think other drivers would be worried, but as a driver mentality, you just focus on yourself.
Looking at social media, which is never the greatest thing to find out how people think you've done hosting, but I will say this, when it comes to drivers, everyone talks about mistakes. Mistakes happen. Otis Lawrence, I'm curious if he's your driver to watch today, because mistakes creeping in, especially in quali. 3 pole positions in event 2. Is it mistakes? Do we look at it like that? What's happening? Is he your driver to watch?
Well, I have 2 drivers to watch, actually.
Okay.
So first one is going to be Otis, but mistakes are normal. He's fighting at a world championship level, and this can just happen. You know, I've made these mistakes as well, and he's performing on a world level with a massive team behind him who love and support him as well. So for him to be making a mistake, spinning and qualifying, and still be P5 on the grid, I think that's exceptional, regardless of his age, regardless of what's going on. To be doing that, and even to pop a 360 for style, why not? And my second driver is going to be Thomas Rother.
What is this, Brendan
Whoa,
Lee?
we're
Just
jumping
coming out
ahead.
of nowhere, 2-time world champ, gets the Go on then, who's your other driver? Go on.
It's going to be Thomas. For no other reason than he deserves a bit of loving. He's had a bit of a rough season so far, and I know him quite well, and I think he'll come back, but he deserves a bit of loving, deserves to be in a bit of a spotlight, and hope he can have a good race.
Do you know what? I heard he is still devastated that you left him when you retired after last season.
Don't make it awkward between them.
We're going to get another storyline. Brendan, he's heartbroken. No, it is good to focus on Thomas. We know what he's capable of and what he can do from P10. Let's see. Nicola, driver to watch for you?
I mean, I've already, it's Ruben Pedreño for me.
Okay.
And it is purely because this is his favourite track and because he was on the podium at his other favourite track. And I think he is the guy to keep an eye on. And he feels like he's in such high spirits. He was pure smiles when I spoke to him earlier. I know he went and got himself a good lunch because he was very hungry when I was chatting to him. I could also hear his tummy rumbling. So hopefully he's eaten well, he's relaxed, he's going to attack Zandvoort because he knows it and loves it so well.
I had the pleasure of sitting with Julian Klaffenbach and Tico Hardy, who you spoke to earlier, and talking to them and talking about sim racing over the years and watching the OG over there, but also Jarno Opmeer. And he's been a kind of inspiration for lots of these drivers coming through. They've watched his social media content and then wanted to get involved. What is capable, we know what he's capable of, but what is the strategy? If you were in Jarno Opmeer's shoes right now, Brendan, and he's got Otis just in front of him on the same row. What is the optimum strategy for Jarno?
If you were in his socks.
Because they don't wear a shoe. Of course
no,
they don't.
It's just
but what's the thought process for Jarno here?
I would, to be honest, probably go for a one-stop strategy. Start on a tyre that you can change later on. So plan for a one-stop strategy, then divert to a two-stop if you need to. The main reason for diverting to a two-stop strategy can be getting clean air. If you feel like you're stuck in that pack and there's a constant train of cars, as you can see, the one-stop is predicted on the screen at the moment, but a two-stop is more risky, more fiery, more fury. I keep on saying fiery.
You do.
Days.
You love it. He loves it.
But yeah,
it's
that's
better
what
than spicy. Everyone's always says spicy.
Spicy. We can go spicy. Two-stop is spicy, and you'll try to get yourself into clean air and use your pace to the advantage it has.
How important is it then for your team around you to respond to what's happening? I look at someone like Alfie Butcher. I've not been mentioning his name enough, in my opinion, compared to what we know he's capable of, what we've seen back in the day in Haas, and then moving to McLaren. He's going to have to respond. The whole team are. So's Jake down in 15th, right?
Yeah, ultimately you're paid to do a job and your job is to win. I don't think any driver signs a contract or any team signs a contract with a driver with the ambition to finish second. So of course they need to respond, but they have a great team, they have great drivers, so I'm sure they can.
Yeah, Ismail Fassi, you spoke to him, he was gutted to go out of Q2. I think it was 0.006 of a second, holding him back,
so
maybe
tight.
even less than that. Talking to him, and he said, if you miss an apex, he's furious with himself. If you don't miss it and you're out by 5,000 seconds, it's easier to take on the chin. Would that be fair to say? Do you agree with that philosophy?
Yeah, because if you do a perfect lap, but you're P11, although you're disappointed, there's still satisfaction in doing a perfect lap, right? Because ultimately, you're just trying to recreate laps and the performance you found in practice. Like in real Formula One, right? If your car is only possible P11 and you achieve a P11, then although you're disappointed to not be on pole, there's still satisfaction within that. When you make a mistake and you know you can be in the top 10, and then Q3 you have more opportunities to progress even further, maybe even pole position, then of course it's gutting.
Yeah. I'm going to go back on your career for a second. Moved to Ferrari. Did Nico Longo take your spot? I'm just curious in my mind. As in, you moved on, he replaced. Is that right? Am I thinking a little bit?
Technically more John Evans, actually.
Interesting. Okay, well, I'd like to focus on Nico Longo because what he's shown, no points in the last two races. He's going to start in P4. Little errors, mistakes, moments are happening, but doing a great job to start P4. But there's so much potential for Nicolas Longo to unlock, isn't there? Is that something you've seen in him as a driver?
Yeah, he's very quick, very confident in himself. But here's the ultimate thing. They're performing on a world level, as I've said with Otis as well, and mistakes can creep in. I'm no one to give Nicolas advice because I'm sat on a sofa and he's sat in the rig, you know, but if I could give an advice, it would be sometimes to know when to push 99.5%, not to be at 99.999, for example. And this is what's happening with Carleton and Nicolas in the session. Final lap of the corner, final corner of the lap, I should say, over pushing, trying to grab too much, sometimes settle for what you know you can get.
When you were I want to start. I've got so many questions. That's the problem, Brendan. You're here. I'm grateful for it. At the end of the race, we'll do exactly what we did last time, talking about some various points. But a team champion with Mercedes. I'm curious to know the likes of Alpine are feeling right now, whether they can do it. However, there's two other members of the team we need to introduce you to, and that is Kai Puccini and Alex Jake, your lead commentator, taking over of this race around Zandvoort. Started in 2020. I love it. How much are you looking forward to this, gentlemen?
Thoroughly looking forward to it, Tom. This is going to be some contest. Chaos has been predicted, Kai. Sounds pretty good to me.
Chaos and a sprinkle in of strategies in there. You know, it's always going to be the same here at F1 Sim Racing. 36 laps will go around Zandvoort, and this is how we line up.
Haas are at the back. Tamascow and Joris Krozen are 17th and 18th. It all came undone for them at the first turn in Q1. Yoni Tormler is in the Racing Bulls. He's next to Jake Benham, who lines up 15th for McLaren. We move to the next row. Duncan Hovland had a spin in qualifying earlier on. Tico Hardy lines up in 13th. He's in for Mercedes, specifically for this round. In 12th position, Tom Manley, second yesterday. He's next to Ismail Fassi, who was disappointed, believes that Ferrari have good race pace. He missed out on Q3 by 6 thousandths of a second. To the top 10 that begins with Thomas Ronhaar. Ronhaar is next to Alvaro Carreton. The always racing for Williams man goes from 9th on the grid. Josh Edu is in for Alpine for this round. He is in 8th. Alfie Butcher is 8 meters ahead in P7. And Jarno Opmeer, our reigning champion, is next to Otis Lawrence, our championship leader, having a spin at the 13th corner on his final push lap. Then it's Nico Longuet in 4th position. Ruben Pedreño has a podium earlier this year in Bahrain. He's looking to emulate that from P3 on the grid today. Barry Boromund is a contender for victory, and they're all trying to beat Freddie Rasmussen, who lines up in pole position for the 20th time in F1 Sim Racing. Moments before the lights. Here they come. 3, 4, 5 red lights in Zandvoort. And we're racing to turn number 1. Good launch off the line for Freddie Rasmussen. And he's got the jump on Barry Boromund. No chance for Barry Boromund. Can Pedreño go around the outside of Boromund? Outside line can become the inside line. Got to be brave, though. Is he prepared to risk it all as we go into Hugenholtz corner? Pedreño ahead for the moment, but can the Ferrari man stand on the power? It's Freddie Rasmussen with the lead. Ruben Pedreño is side by side with Barry Boromund, and still they can't sort it out. Millimeters between them as they make their way into turn 7, and it's Barry Boromund who kept his foot in and keeps P2.
Pedreño will do all he can to recover this time loss and recover the position as well. Boromund doing a great job at that head-to-head battle with the man in the Aston Martin colours. Quickly checking over his shoulder, checking in behind in every moment possible to see where the Williams of Nicolas Longuet is positioned on the track. But Barry Boromund, for the moment, actually gets a little bit of a cushion over the driver in behind, a bit of free air, and is able to focus on Freddie Rasmussen in front. All the drivers will be wanting to beat the Red Bull, and all eyes will be on Fast Freddie.
Okay, you go on board with Ruben Pedreño. Brilliant couple of corners for the battle for second position. You can see that Ismail Fassi has gone on the Redwood soft tyre. That would have given him a launch off the line. He has improved a couple of positions, having started this one outside of the top 10. Also on the soft tyre, Joris Krozen, who's made his way from the back row. So that soft tyre firing up. We've also got hard tyres further down. A real mix outside the top 10. Ismail Fassi, the only driver on the soft rubber who finds himself inside the top 10. It's Rasmussen, Boromund, Pedreño, Longuet, Lawrence, Opmeer, Butcher, Fassi, Edu and Carreton, the top 10.
Fassi, the leading charger on the red wall tyre of the soft compound. He'll be looking for the two-stop strategy in this race, as Brendan mentioned earlier on. In the background, there's a move down the inside from Carreton as he will catch Edu off guard. Edu will get the outside line, turning to the inside, and will get to the apex. But can he get the power planted to secure the position? Yes, he can. DRS enabled. Edu holds onto it for now, but Carreton in an attacking position, both on the medium compounds. Ismail Fassi, as we mentioned, the furthest fastest forward driver on the soft compound, the alternate strategy, he'll be wanting to charge forwards and gain an advantage, take advantage of this early stint where he has the offsetting tyres.
Short lap around here means that we've got a lap count of 36 as we see further back. Otis Lawrence getting racy. And he's not the only one. On board with Jarno Opmeer. Day on the back foot yesterday. Very unlike him indeed. It has all changed. It was a much better qualifying session for him. A couple of blips at Silverstone and a Q1 exit at Spa yesterday. But he's one of our contenders today. And a strategic race should play to his advantage. Everyone inside the top 7 on that yellow medium tyre, and there's a lot of movement from Nicolas Longuet, heaping the pressure on now, and we're bunching up behind Ruben Pedreno.
Fassi just trying to edge away past Alfie Butcher. He can't find it there. Actually gets attacked from behind from Josh Ido. Or was that a defensive response from Alvaro Carreton in behind as they head towards the Audi S's? It'll be the inside line there for the Alpine driver. Still holds it round, does Fassi, barging his way through as they go elbows out. Fassi just trying to find a way through, and he gets it into the braking point. That is where the soft compound tyres will come to use. He can break those few meters later, and that's what finds him holding on to the position for now.
Yeah, when it turns into a battle of traction, those soft tyres for the early laps at least won't last for the entire first stint, but for the early laps, it's going to give you an advantage. If you are on the softs, you've got to make it work early on. We saw that yesterday. Right, but let's go on board with Joris Krozen. Round goes Tico Hardy, and that was the end of any chance he has. He's been spun to the back of the field and trying to get a wheel to the inside of turn 11. You're seeing the result of it. This was his reaction. A wry shake of the head. On the left-hand side, Alvaro, on the right-hand side, Alvaro Carreton, Josh Idu, corner by corner, side by side. The order is Fassi, Carreton and Idu in the top 10. Tico Hardy finding himself 18th.
DRS train very much in suit right now, but Ido trying to keep this race alive and keeping us entertained at home as well, looking for a position where possible. Carreton has just made his way into 9th now. Tom Manley looking to follow through and take advantage of the opportunity if possible, not able to do so into the Audi S's, and now into what seems to be the drivers finding one of the most difficult corners on the circuit, the penultimate corner, as we make our way through Kumbox once again, as nobody's stepping out the rear end. That's where we saw quite a few spins and moments in qualifying, most notably for Josh Ido's teammate of Otis Lawrence, as Ido looks to the outside of Tarzan turn 1, isn't able to get anything done this time round, but Ido just seemingly impatient, Alex.
Yeah, trying to make his car as wide as possible, but no one with a chance. Very tight gaps across the entire field, always a facet of racing around this Zandvoort circuit, and it's Barry Borremond, Freddie Rasmussen and Ruben Pedreno, the top 3. Barry Borremond with the race lead, the Ferrari man hitting the front, and there's Longuet to the inside, but he's on the outside part of the corner. Aston Martin man will compromise both of their exits onto the back straight. Nicolas Longuet with a big opportunity now, but has to think of the overall championship picture, and he will behave. He will stay where he needs to be. The driver who was slamming the wall, not on the racetrack, but of the set when he found himself spinning at this corner, very much in championship management mode.
Yeah, Longuet with an anvil of pressure on his shoulders now. You can see in his rear view mirror the very fierce Alpine of your championship leader, Otis Lawrence, peering down into turn 1. He sells the dummy. Longuet goes defensive, nearly clashes into the rear end of Ruben Pedreno in front of him. Few drivers into the pit lane. That's Carreton, Manley and Fassi. All the drivers that were on the soft compounder tyres now dive into the pit lane for what looks like a fresh set of softs that's going on the car of Ismail Fassi. No, that's the hard compounder tyres that Fassi has equipped onto the car. So the middle stint, making it look as long as possible, and then maybe it'll be a dash onto the softs once again for a strong finish.
Well, going to have an immediate advantage. If you're Ismail Fassi on those tyres, tyre compound advantage at this stage, eat into the 14-second gap that you got in front of you, and on a tyre compound that gives you the options. You would expect a driver coming in on lap 6 of 36 to find himself going to the 2-stop. Freddie Rasmussen always plays a strong tactical game. He has got a couple of wins around here in his storied career, and he is trying to score a third today. Barry Burman, though, trying to get his second win in a row around this configuration. He was the winner by over a second, broke clear of DRS. That's aggressive as we come into the pit with our reigning champion, Jarno Opmeer, electing to change tyres, and they're reacting to the aggressive moves behind. A reminder for you, the pit lane lost time, 18.5 seconds.
Well, this is very interesting. Opmeer dives into pit lane, but if we do remember, he was already on the medium compounder tyres, so comes in for a fresh set of hards, but Jarno Opmeer opting for maybe the undercut around this circuit, some fresh air around here at Zandvoort. It is very crucial to have some clean air, some track position. This track, very high grip, but also very demanding on the tyres, and that doesn't help at all when you're in the dirty air of the car in front. So tyre management is going to be so crucial for the rest of this race. I mean, 29 laps is a long stint for Jarno Opmeer to hold on to these tyres. He will have to be precious.
He's given up track position there, but does he feel the need to try and bridge the gap when it comes to the points? He's got the driver ahead of him in second in the points battle. His teammate Freddie Rasmussen with the race lead going up to a 10th. That has swapped around again, so that they're playing you after you out front. Freddie Rasmussen ahead of Barry Boromond. That has swapped back. So has he felt the need to do something different with the strategy? Remember what Brendan Lee, our two-time champ, told us in the studio earlier on, that you're going to go to a hard tyre that gives you the option of clinging on if the tyre's okay, or switching to the two-stop. That's what everyone who's visited the pits has done so far, apart from Joris Krozen, who's on the medium tyres. As it stands, though, Opmeer's into a train. Opmeer's behind Tom Manley, he's behind Avara Caraton, behind Ismail Fassi, who is the driver to watch how much progress he can make. And we're on board. Second place driver, Barry Boromond, with Freddie Rasmussen, trading the lead at the moment as they try to eke out that stint on the medium tyres.
Yeah, DRS is just so strong around this circuit with two DRS zones, the main one being down the home straight towards Tarzan Corner. That's where we keep seeing Barry Boromond and Freddie Rasmussen switching positions. But I think Jarno Opmeer being in this train, it's got its pros and it's got its cons. Obviously, he has the dirty air of the car in front, so he needs to be careful of that aero wash through the middle of the corner and not scrubbing off too much understeer, which will then be graining on the tyres as well. But he can also sort of not push as hard on the tyres. He can maintain his tyres because he has the utilization of DRS. He gets that extra boost in pace down the straights, meaning he doesn't need to gain that time in the corners.
So it's well poised on that 9 of 36. Ruben Pedreño having a really strong run after event one. Really great result in Bahrain. Then a bit of a lean period that's followed, but back to form. He's directly behind Barry Boromond. He's 6/10 of a second away from the Ferrari man, who we ride on board with at the moment.
Let's get a replay here on board with Freddie Rasmussen. This was the overtake for the lead, and as we predicted, it was just a straight DRS swap. Actually gets back to the racing line for the braking zone. No issues there for Freddie Rasmussen. That is how Barry Boromond and Rasmussen have both been switching positions lap after lap, utilizing the DRS, actually helping both of them out in a sense where they're not able to fight as much, not stressing the tyres, and also not getting Ruben Pedreño involved in any unnecessary battles.
Ismail Fassi's made 4 seconds on Tico Hardy. He has got that gap down. He's running at his absolute ability in free air and dragging Caraton and Manley and Jarno Opmeer in 16th for the moment with him. And that position is going to improve for Ismail Fassi because Hardy is now in the pits.
Pulling into the pit lane is Hardy. Ismail Fassi, the front of the long stint runners. That Mercedes car will come back out onto the circuit and will drop back down to the rear end of the order. So has quite a bit of work to do if he wants to find himself back in the position that he was originally just a few laps ago. We're keeping an eye on right here the Williams driver of Nicolas Longuet, who's looking at the rear end of that Aston Martin, Ruben Pedreño. He said to Nicola after qualifying that he was hoping to get interviewed again. Well, that means that you have to finish inside the top 3. It's looking strong right now for the Spaniard, who actually had a record result for himself. He had his best result ever in his F1 sim racing career back in Bahrain at Event 1, where he took home a P3 result after a tactical masterclass which saw him away from 7th on the grid.
Yeah, alternative strategy that day for Pedreño, who has the chance to not really... Rasmussen always tells us he's dealing with the team game. This is Alvaro Carreton on Ismail Fassi. That's Ismail Fassi making use of that DRS into turn number 1. And now you can see that it is the Williams driver up to 12th position. That's a key move. Josh Edu into the pits, tumbling down the order. And Edu comes in for his stop to change onto the mandatory compound. You must use 2 in the race. That's the rule for all of them. No mandatory stops, but you must use 2 compounds any way that is required. We are expecting some today to make 2 stops against the grain of what we'd normally see. Enormous lap count gives you that chance.
Yeah, and the undercut looking strong for the moment as Josh Edo drops to the bottom of the pile. All of these drivers that are now in front of him. He was in front before everyone came into the pit lane, so the undercut looking strong. That does mean, though, the drivers in front of him have to take a lot more care of their tyres, especially towards the back end of the race if they want to keep themselves within a racing contention. Nico Longe will ride on board with him round the final banking bend and down the home straight. DRS enabled, battery being used in overtake mode to try and keep latched onto the rear end of Ruben Pedreño. It's so important that you don't break that DRS activation, because having DRS down the home straight gains you multiple temps. He would just be fed to the lions in behind of Otis Lawrence if he did not have that DRS of the Aston Martin in front.
Absolutely critical for everyone's race that you stay within the 1 second window. You can see that that is beginning to stretch out further back, but not for the key positions at the front of the field. Talking the front of the field, Nicolas Longe needed this run that he's having today. He had a fantastic run. 4 races where he was always in the top 4 from Japan until Spain. No points in the last 2 outings, currently putting that right and currently in with a big chance of the podium. Getting your strategy right, your in lap, your out lap, absolutely vital. It's going to be defining. And could they come under pressure later on? This is to the leader then. Ismail Fassi, 14 seconds. He's got past Carreton. He's 13 seconds away from Freddie Rasmussen. Remember, you need 18 seconds, 18 and a half to come in, make your stop, and as if by magic, it's that time right now. Here comes Freddie Rasmussen. Barry Boremund laid on the brakes and then some. Oh, they practice that all the time, and he definitely made up time there. So he hits his marks, makes his stop. Alfie Butcher is your new leader.
Well, passing down the straight now, it's going to be a straightforward move there from Alvaro Carreton. Uses the DRS, slips his way past Ismail Fassi, and Carreton, Fassi, Manley, Otmir, all the drivers in that train feed their way through past the ex-race leaders back onto the circuit. It's not going to be easy for Josh Edu and Freddie Rasmussen as they're going side by side with all the drivers just making their way out. Barry Boremund is going to be in a good position right now, just in behind Freddie Rasmussen once again. About half a second still separating the two of them, but Boremund so close to danger going into that pit lane. Rasmussen went a little bit more conservative, and you heard the brakes were squealing on Boremund as he slammed on the brakes, trying not to lock up, trying not to hit the rear end of that Red Bull, but Rasmussen will lead the charge through the field.
Jarno Otmir is in 9th position. He went to the hard tyres slightly earlier, was one of the first drivers in the points to break out of that pack on purpose. He's got track position over Freddie Rasmussen, Barry Boremund. They have the tyre advantage to go longer into the race. Really well poised contest at the moment. A reminder for you, 18 seconds to make your stop. Carreton and Fassi, who have gone aggressive earlier on, and there's a pass easily made by Freddie Rasmussen. He gets past Josh Edu, who is also on the hard tyre but went for it sooner. Next up is Joni Tommler.
Very much taking advantage of that fresh set of hard tyres in comparison to the few laps old of the other drivers around him. Josh Edu pitted around lap 8 or 9 for his tyres, so we'll have a bit more wear on than Freddie Rasmussen. That fresh seat will be completely gone, and Rasmussen just trying to take advantage of that whilst he can. His next target just in front, 9 tenths behind him, is Joni Tommler in the sister team of the Racing Bulls, obviously stepping in for this race over Julasz Yildirim. And Barry Boremund, if he wants to stay in contention for the net race lead in behind Freddie Rasmussen, he needs to make light work of Josh Edu as soon as possible. He can't waste any opportunities, or any time spent behind the Alpine driver is time lost to the net race leader.
It's that 14 of 36, and we find ourselves with a final stops being made for those yet to pit. So coming in, Alfie Butcher, Thomas Gal, only the top 3 yet to come in and have their stop. Those who will inherit the lead on track going early for the rubber and the advantage that comes with that. Caraton ahead of Fassi, Manley, Otmir, Crozen, Tormula, and the danger man for everyone out there, Freddie Rasmussen.
And Rasmussen doing a great job as well to take advantage of the opportunity that he has at hand. Out in front is still going to be Thomas Ronhaar in his Mercedes colours. It wasn't the qualifying that Ronhaar would have been hoping for, but he's been able to recover a good position on track. Obviously going long for his first stint on the hard compounder tyres, but let's see if he's able to use that to his advantage. Freddie Rasmussen, though, just looks so strong around here in Zandvoort. He was saying this was one of the tracks that he actually neglected when practicing because it's too easy for him. He showed it in qualifying, and he's also showing it in the race so far. Tom Manley right here picked up a podium in Spa just yesterday, second in behind his teammate of Ulash Yildirim. It was a great display from both of the Racing Bulls drivers to be able to step on the podium, and also taking home a maiden victory for Racing Bulls as a constructor yesterday. It was a great day for them, but qualifying and also the race right now not going in their favour.
Freddie Rasmussen up to 9th place. Clean passes is what he needs to make his way through. The driver finds himself into 9th position, and then he's got work to do to get up to the back of Joris Crozen. And then it's Otmir who went early for the rubber as a result. Then Manley, Fassi, Caraton, Benham, Hovland and Ronhaar yet to visit the pits.
Out in front, Thomas Ronhaar, one driver that is yet to take home a race victory in his 44 starts. Well, 45 now in his F1 sim racing history. He's got 20 podiums to his name and 12 pole positions, so he clearly has the pace.
All right, I want to show you the state of the race at the moment in terms of tyre age, because it's key. You can see Freddie Rasmussen, 3 laps old hard tyres, massive advantage that comes with that. Josh Edu's going to get to the apex. Is he going to have any room, is the question for the Alpine driver. Opens that steering and hopes he's still pointing in the right direction. Josh Edu gets past Joni Tormula. Key move made for him. Josh Edu, 5-lap old tyres, still in contention here, having another great run when he's parachuted into the team.
Yeah, opting for that later stop on lap 12. Barry Borman, though, will now be looking to make his way past Tormula, tries to sell the dummy on the inside. Tormula is a veteran enough to not fall for that one. He just shows his nose, does Borman, and Tormula's not going to bite at all. Goes defensive into the back corner, and on the exit, Borman is going to be steaming behind the wheel as he knows he's just losing time corner after corner, and Rasmussen is just breaking away out in front as he now has a 2-car gap in between his closest competitor.
Yeah, going very, very well for Freddie Rasmussen with a tyre advantage, but with passes to be made. Barry Borman, who has only started one race in the championship since last March, so it's been a while for him. That was yesterday when he was in the points for Ferrari. He's wanting more than that today, looking for the podium. Driver who started second on the grid, and Joni Tormula is currently ahead, but with tyres that are fading. Still, Ronhaar, Hofland and Benham have not come into the pits to change tyres. They're going with that alternative reverse strategy after qualifying did not go their way.
535 career points for Barry Borman, and using that experience as he shall, still can't find a way past Joni Tormula, though. It seemed to be light work for Edo and Rasmussen, but Tormula putting up a little bit more of a fight to Barry Borman as the Ferrari just looks gridlocked in behind the Racing Bulls car right now, and all he can see is that Visa Cash App livery and also sponsorship on the rear wing, as that will be ingrained into the vision of Barry Borman at this point, burnt into his retinas.
It's not where he wants to be, but Barry Borman knows how to win around here, is patient around here. Also, the teams have been expecting this sort of jumbled up race where it's about clean passes, about efficient passes, when you can use the absolute best of your grippy Pirelli rubber, and patience is the order of the day. They've got the right place, the right track position at the moment. They've just got to make sure that they stay patient, don't have a silly accident, don't cause any damage that you don't need. Here's our breakaway train then, yet to visit the pits. Thomas Ronhaar, Duncan Hovland, Jake Benham, they've all gone in a slightly different direction out of necessity in qualifying, and that didn't go the right way for them. Alvaro Caraton has come to the pits. So is Joris Krozen. That is hyper-aggressive. And a two-stop, wonderful. Loving the days of the two stops out there for the time being. And strategic variations happening out on the circuit. Ronhaar, Hovland, Benham, and then Fassi, Manley, Otmir, Rasmussen, Edu, Tormala, and Barry Borman. Now, P10, Freddie Rasmussen is the danger man because he's now not got a car in between him and his teammate. Remember, the Red Bull drivers, they prioritize that team championship first and foremost. So Rasmussen, if he's in the best position to win this race, and he is right now, Otmir will not make things difficult for him, even though these two, second and third in the points battle to win the driver's title.
Yeah, as Rasmussen said, they are both the #1 drivers at Red Bull, and he's not focused on the Drivers' Championship at all. All he's worried about is getting his team in the best position possible. If that's not a staple of a team player, then I don't know what is. Freddie Rasmussen not putting himself first, but the team first, and that's showing here. So will there be any team orders between Rasmussen and Otmir? Fassi's going to come into the pit lane for his second pit stop of the race, so this is looking to be the second and final pit stop for Ismail Fassi. He comes into the pit lane. What tyres does he choose on his Scarlet Red Scuderia Ferrari? Well, he goes for another set of hards, so a soft, hard pit stop for Ismail Fassi as he will now re-emerge from outside the pit lane with 16 laps remaining. He really needs to push now.
Well, he can take everything from it, but he's tumbled to the back of the field. Fassi, who started this race in 11th place, having been eliminated in Q2 by 6 thousandths of a second. Ronhaar, Hovland and Benham, wonderful split strategies going on. They've yet to visit the pits, and they've still got track position. You've got Tom Manley, who's 3.5 seconds away, and he's in the gap ahead of Otmir, went for the tyres earlier. Otmir did the same thing. Rasmussen's got the best tyres of everyone in your picture at the moment, but he is in 6th position. And then you've got those at the back who've gone for a two-stop, including Carrington, Grozen and Fassi, and they are just all out attack to the end of the race. So distinct groups going for different strategies here. 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings in the game for Josh Edu. Those don't always stand, but at the moment, that's what the game is telling us.
Yeah, it's also very interesting for these drivers. Obviously, yesterday they only had the one race, but today there is 2 races. So even after they're done here at Zandvoort, the drivers still have to recalibrate their brains. They've got another qualifying session and another race at the Circuit of Americas later on this evening. And in a race like this, in a period like this, what do you reckon's going through the drivers' heads, Alex? Because there's not much action going on track, and you still have to be 100% focused on the task at hand and what's going on, as you can see by the focus on Jarno Otmir's face.
Well, you're hoping your strategy is the right one. Manley and Otmir have track position, having gone for the rubber earlier on. It's a total reset, as you say, coming at the end of this one for a totally different type of circuit where we've seen so many 4-wide moments. You don't really get that around Zandvoort, specifically because it's an old school track and it's not that wide. Freddie Rasmussen, never perturbed by anything, knows he's in the box seat here. Manley's coming in again. Otmir is directly ahead of Rasmussen, continuing on. And Duncan Hovland has still yet to visit the pits. That Benham now has. That is a very, very long stint for Hovland and Ronhaar. Otmir has track position, but fading tyres. Rasmussen is 0.5 of a second ahead of Barry Borman, who has made swift work to get up to the back. And after all of this, after all of the talk of strategy, we're going to end up where we started, with a battle for the win between Freddie Rasmussen and Barry Borman.
Oh, only half a second between them. How's that happened then? There was a couple cars separating them just not long ago, but Borman has got the work done early and has managed to scrape back the deficit and finds himself back on the Oracle Red Bull racing car of Freddie Rasmussen. Once again, DRS in his favour as well. Jarno Otmir, surely he has to help out his teammate here. He has to work together with Rasmussen to try and fend off Barry Borman. Do we see team orders on where they switch positions and use Jarno Otmir as virtually a rolling roadblock to try and stop Barry Borman and hold him up a bit to allow Freddie Rasmussen to drive on forwards?
Well, that would be the ideal. If you were calling the shots from the pit wall right now, that's exactly what you'd want. But it is the nature of retaining your title, and there is a gap there is a sizable, unusual gap between Freddie Rasmussen and Jarno Opmeer. At the moment, they're not doing the ideal strategy for the team trying to maintain it. Look at the gap, though. Opmeer on 6-lap older tyres, he will be delving deep into his experience bank of how to coax the last of the Pirelli grip out there. And Burrowman in a straight fight as it stands. Thomas Ronhaar is allergic to the pit lane at the moment. He's been out there for the entire race. He's still not visited. He's just hoping for anything to happen, just running a different stint entirely. You can bet he's going to the soft tyres to finish this one.
He's just enjoying the daylight in front of him, and I don't blame him at all. He's got 2.5 seconds separating him and Jarno Opmeer right now. He started on those hard compounded tyres, and they don't look to be going anywhere anytime soon. 22 laps and counting for the Mercedes driver, but Freddie Rasmussen in a very difficult position right now. 2 seconds off the back of Jarno Opmeer, but within DRS and behind him, 7 tenths behind, is Barry Borromond.
Well, Opmeer's made the break. Opmeer's on the old fading tyres. He's made the break. Surely those hard tyres are going to go all the way to the end. They won't go all the way to the end. Opmeer comes into the pits. Our reigning champ comes in, and he was trying to make the break. So now we are heading into straight fight territory. Can Barry Burrowman do anything to upset the Freddie Express, which has been building since Q1 in qualifying earlier on, where he has been absolutely immense all day? Ruben Pedreño's just cycled through, and after all of this effort, everyone is barely separated by any time at all, and no one has made any moves when it comes to the strategy. What we are going to see, though, is whether that patience holds later on in the race for the major places. Ronhaar still to come in. When he does, it will be a lead in the race for Freddie Rasmussen of 0.7 of a second.
Well, I'm not sure about you, Alex, but Jarno Opmeer has caught me quite off guard with that pit stop choice. You know, obviously we saw the 2-stop from Ismail Fassi where he's used 2 sets of hards and a soft compounded tyre, but Jarno Opmeer started on the medium compounded tyre and has also flung on 2 sets of hards. So it's been a medium hard stint for Jarno Opmeer, clearly not confident enough in the ability of the mediums.
No, it is worth saying, if you've got fresher tyres out there, the pace difference is sizable. Let's look at Jake Benham, currently running in 7th place. He's on the mediums. He's doing 1 minute 10.4s. Freddie Rasmussen's doing 1 minute 12.6s. So there is an advantage for a few laps. Jarno Opmeer's hoping it's an advantage all the way to the end, because he's got to go past a hatful of cars if he's not going to lose more ground in the championship.
Well, with a 2.5 second pace offset, those gaps can fall very, very quickly. And all of those gaps that have been built up can crumble in an instant if that pace offset stays the way that it is right now. But out in front, Barry Borrowman still just chasing down the back of Freddie Rasmussen. He's not forcing anything just yet, is Borrowman. He's using his race experience to his advantage to try and catch on to the back of Freddie Rasmussen. And Rasmussen, as we know, one of the most experienced drivers on the grid, the OG of F1 sim racing on the grid with us at the moment. But the number 77 of Barry Borrowman doing everything he can to promote himself up to 8 race wins in his career.
Yeah, looking for that as it stands. Barry Borrowman, the Ferrari driver today, back behind the wheel. And this will be start number 51 for him. So he's trying to improve to the top step. He's on for, at the moment, his 3rd, second place around this venue. He's the winner last time when we raced here last year. Just checking in on that pace for Jake Benham. It continues to be terrific. We're on board with the lead McLaren in the race, but it is Jake Benham who is up 7 positions from where he started and really attacking right now. He's now in the train, so he's managed to use all of the best from the tyres, and now he is in the train. So can he get up to the back of this lot and still make decisive moves? He's 2.3 seconds away.
Well, after the tweet we saw from Jake Benham last night saying this season is just not going his way and not having any luck, recovering to what is currently 7th on the circuit with the fastest lap to his name, trying to do everything he can. We're on board with his teammate of Alfie Butcher, who's just in front of Jake Benham, looking at the rear end of Otis Lawrence right now, down into turn 1. All the drivers just gridlocked in this DRS train. The McLaren drivers, I think it's fair to say, didn't have the greatest of qualifying sessions, but what a recovery this has been from Jake Benham. Qualified all the way down in 15th, now finds himself fighting for a point scoring position in 7th.
Well, if he continues his pace, he can cause real trouble to those ahead, but is he getting a bit of drop-off, or is he going to be able to continue that steering pace? He's into the 111s now, but he is still a second faster than those ahead. So that long stint he did, making his stop on lap 23 of 36, is a great effort from Benham, and he will be the spoiler in the pack from 7th. But the problem is, all of the pack are glued together. So it's going to have to be a massive, massive tyre offset if he is able to get by. Out front, 0.7 of a second separate first and second. Barry Bowman has not had a hint of a waft, of a sniff of a look to the inside. He's not had a chance. Freddie Rasmussen trying to keep him at bay. And now Jake Benham is inside DRS. Having gone for that different strategy, he is part of this train that ends with our race leader, Freddie.
I do have to say, this is outstanding. This is very impressive driving from Freddie Rasmussen to be able to contend with the pace of Barry Burman. Little dip on the grass there for the Mercedes driver of Thomas Ronhaar as he's trying to fend off the driver third in the championship of Jarno Opmeer, but Rasmussen somehow contending with the pace of Burman in behind, despite not having DRS enabled for him, not being able to utilize that at any point on the circuit. Longue looks to the inside, thinks better of it. Ruben Pedreño does not flinch at all. That Aston Martin is not being bullied off the racing line, and Longue will have to try again.
Personal best and the best lap I can see on the last time we did a tour. Jarno Opmeer in a brilliant position in terms of tyre grip, but he's got a flurry of cars directly in front of him. So he's gone for a strategy that gives him brilliant traction. He's got the fresh tyres at this point. The problem is he's got the entire field basically in front of him. Can he make the moves, or is the enormous DRS train ahead going to prevent him using that tyre advantage? He has such fresher tyres. Can he do anything with it? We haven't had a safety car. We're glued together at the end. There are 0.3 of a second between first and second.
Well, that's a similar situation for Jake Benham as well, but down the inside, fighting his way through, bullying his way through is Thomas Ronhaar, and he'll get there on Joni Tormela. Opmeer needs to use this pace upset to make his way past into 15th as well. We're not fighting for a point-scoring position, but we're fighting for pride here outside of point-scoring positions, and that is exactly what Thomas Ronhaar is looking for. Back up at the front end, though, it's a different question. Ruben Pedreño, who was under pressure from Nico Longue not long ago. Otis Lawrence now finds himself in that boat with Alfie Butcher, the lead McLaren, attacking the rear end of the Alpine.
Whoa, late lunchtime to the inside. Is there a chance? Ismail Fassi gets through past Joris Krozen. Decisive move when it mattered. Can he hold it? By the time that we get to 11, he can, and the Spanish driver's through.
This is why you never turn off an F1 sim racing race. If you think it's a little bit dead and dreary in the middle of the race, just wait until the final 10 laps, because it all kicks off. All the drivers now desperate for track position, if possible. It was a great move there from Fassi, trying to make his way through the field on Joris Krozen. It was such a late dive. You can see himself setting himself up for the position on Joris Krozen. Oh, saw the gap and was diving down there. A little bit of a touch on the grass, a little bit of banging wheels, but trading paint never hurted anyone as Ismail Fassi makes his way into 9th.
Okay, let's go further back. Opmeer needs moves. Opmeer, see, that's what he's looking for. He's looking for slam dunk stuff with the tyre offset, and he makes the move into turn 9. So Fassi with the brush against Krozen, but making the pass. That looked fine from where we were sitting. He's up to 9th position. Duncan Hofland did that really long stint as well, didn't he? Duncan Hofland for a long time. Didn't come into the pits. He's in 8th. Benham finds himself 0.2 of a second behind. And this is glued together at Zandvoort with the win on the line. Remember, one errant move, one half look to the inside, you could be losing multiple positions, and there is a perfect example to show you. Jarno Opmeer nudging Thomas Ronhaar through the corner, saying, get on with it, I've got the pace here. He is running out of laps, though. We're on lap 30 of 36, make that 31 of 36. 4 tenths, 3 tenths, 2 tenths for the race lead. Still, Bowerman can't force a defensive shape from Freddie Rasmussen.
This is absolutely mental, Alex. Every driver within DRS all the way down to 16th position.
Another position gained. That's Jarno Opmeer. That should be, with his superior tyres, a launch. Remember, it was a long stint as well. Do you go left? Do you go right? High speed, sweeping round. And let's find out who's got the bravery through turn 7. Turns out it's both of them. Can Opmeer get that move done? Eventually around this circuit, if you stay wheel to wheel long enough, you will get the inside line. They're both up against the Racing Bulls driver. Manley versus Ronhaar. Ronhaar gets ahead. Is there going to be room? And there is no way by for Jarno Opmeer, who's got the pace, he's got the fresh tyres, but he's got nowhere to go because there are cars absolutely everywhere.
Forced to step down from the place was Opmeer. That Racing Bulls getting involved was the deciding factor on whether or not Opmeer was able to get the move done. He just needs to reset himself. He needs to compose himself once again onto another lap. It's a fresh day. It's a fresh lap. Can he get the move done this time? Down into turn 1. Great opportunity down into Tarzan. If he's able to go late on the brakes, if we know one driver's going to do it, it would be Jarno Opmeer, but still racing just in front of him. Manley tried the outside on the switchback. Here comes Jarno Opmeer. Can he get there? Inside turns to outside. Use the banking to your advantage. Get the grip, get the traction, get the acceleration down, and Opmeer will get there. Great move.
Yeah, he's got the place. Nicely done for Jarno Opmeer. He's running out of time, though. He's just looking to try and come back to the points. Wow, that's aggressive. Look at that around the outside. That was always going to be a disappearing gap. There are 0.6 of a second for the race lead. Still Rasmussen hangs on to it. Barry Bowerman under big pressure from the Aston Martin man, looking for his best ever finish in F1 sim racing. Ruben Pedreño can't get the move done. Now there's an opportunity for Longuet. Otis Lawrence is 5th. For more points in the championship, but it would be Rasmussen closing the gap to his nearest rival for the title. Lots going on right now in F1 sim racing. Let's go for a move further back. We're on board with Ismail Fassi going the long way round, continuing to go the long way round. Time for another pass, and he was given the room, and he gets by. More wheel banging and another place gained for Ismail Fassi up to P8.
A push and a shove to make his way through. Bully ball from Ismail Fassi will get the move done on Duncan Hovland for 8th position. Out in front, I would be sweating buckets if I was Freddie Rasmussen right now. You've got 16 cars peering down your neck. One mistake and every single car is going to jump onto the rear end of that Oracle Red Bull racing machine. Half a second back to Barry Bowerman. Does Bowerman have anything left in the tank? That's the question, and we'll have to wait and see. Does he have the tyre management down to a key? Can he deploy that battery, and can he use any tyre offset to his advantage?
Ismail Fassi going left, going right, not finding a way through. Papaya pair in front of them, and the Ferrari man can't get the job done. He is prepared to go aggressive when it counts. We've seen that earlier on. He's made a charge up the order. He's had to work very, very hard to go from 11th to 8th, but it's been entertaining for us to enjoy. Rasmussen, then Bowerman, then Pedreño, then Longuet. Otis Lawrence still with the points lead going into this one. Then Butcher, Benham, Fassi, Hovland, and Crozen are our top 10. Jarno Opmeer is still fighting, and Opmeer has got past Ronhaar, and Ronhaar has actually dropped back. With that going on, close contact between Ferrari and McLaren, and Jake Benham still ahead of Ismail Fassi.
Fassi is not waiting around. Remember, Fassi is on the 2-stop strategy, so has fresh hards in comparison to everyone else. Yellow flag out in sector 1. We'll have to wait and see what that is for.
Ronhaar has retired from the session, dropped down, was fighting Opmeer and then dropped down, and so we are down to 17. Josh Edu has that in-game penalty of 3 seconds hanging over him for the moment. And does Barry Bowerman have a late show for us? Does he have something to give us a rousing final lap, or will the battle, will the fireworks be between Longuet and Pedreño? They are fighting for P3 and the final step on the podium. Does anyone have anything left in the tank? Let's bring you the reason why Thomas Ronhaar is out of this one. So he had been passed by Opmeer. He's up against Manley. You can see Manley on the inside. And this is going to go to turn 2. No, it's not. In the gravel, into the wall, out of the race.
Big retirement, big incident for Thomas Ronhaar, but no time to be sad about that as Jarno Opmeer is trying to get the work done on Alvaro Carreton. Outside of turn 1, he's shown to the grass. No wall this time round, straight back on the inside. Use that inside line. He has the minimal speed, but using the traction, Alvaro Carreton banking is just so crucial around here on Zandvoort. Go left, go right. Well, there's no good choice because you're still going to be side by side through 7 as Jarno Opmeer loves a good wheel-to-wheel race and he's not going to give it up at all. He's the 3-time world champion and he shows his racecraft in his stride, shown to the grass, still on the inside, not giving it up, hits his marks and gets the move done eventually. Jarno Opmeer, if anyone is not going to give up a battle, it's that man in the Red Bull colours.
Josh Edu following through, or at least trying to. So Opmeer up to 11th. Crozen is the next car in front of him. It's 0.4 of a second for the lead of the race. And we continue on. Is there an opportunity for Barry Boremund to launch a late attack? Barry Boremund at the top of your picture, getting closer on the final lap. Not close enough. Is there a charge under traction? Barry Boremund going for the lead. They both stand on the power. And it's a late Joe from Barry Boremund. Side by side into Hugenholt. The top two nearly collide. And Barry Boremund takes the lead. Freddie Rasmussen has had one hand on the trophy for this entire race. It's been ripped away by Barry Boremund, who's on his way to make it 2 wins here in 2 years. Welcome back to F1 Sim Racing, Barry Boremund.
Dipping a wheel on the grass and flying off the racing line. Freddie Rasmussen, it was looking to be his race to lose, and oh my word was it. Barry Boremund takes advantage of the opportunity, catches his opponent off guard, and it will be a victory on return to Ferrari.
How about this for Barry Boremund? He waited, and he waited some more until the lap count read 36 of 36, and he knew there was one opportunity to get by. That opportunity was Tarzan, and he'll let out a roar. What a performance! Barry Boremund spectacularly wins in Zandvoort, back in the championship, back on the top step. It's Boremund who wins from Freddie Rasmussen. Ruben Pedreno back on the podium for the second time this year. And the second time in his career. Barry Boremund, thumbs up, delighted. Ferrari victorious for the second time this season. And it's finished Boremund, Rasmussen, Pedreno, Longuet, Otis Lawrence, Alfie Butcher, Jake Benham, Ishmael Fassi, Duncan Hofland and Joris Crozen. Jarno Opmeer across the line was a 10th away from a point, but he misses out as we see another twist and another contender hit the front in this most entertaining of seasons. Another name can call himself a winner.
Another name to add to the total. There's the camaraderie. Otis Lawrence goes over to congratulate Barry Boremund. It was a shrug of the shoulders, and who would have doubted him? Barry Boremund, you are a race winner at Event 3 of the F1 Sim Racing Championship in 2026. 535 career points heading into this race. Well, let's make it 560. 8 race victories, 7 pole positions, 2 fastest laps in 52 race starts.
That's great, just great. Well done all round to everyone there. It was a wonderful wheel-to-wheel racing. Was it going to be a one-stop? Was it going to be a 2? In the end, Ishmael Fassi, the highest placed driver to make a 2-stop strategy work. He worked so hard for his improvement up a couple of places. Well done to him after the disappointment earlier on. But Barry Boremund, talk about keeping it cool. Waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And we said earlier in the commentary, not even had a hint of a chance. Took it. And under traction at the end. Freddie Rasmussen must wonder how that one got away. More good points for Red Bull for him scored, but Ferrari back on top. And how's that for race 1? Bring on race 2 at the Circuit of the Americas. That's meant to be the dramatic one. And yet Zandvoort delivering once more.
Well, there's a lot to live up to in that one. Freddie Rasmussen looked like he had a tight grip on that race win, but in the end, it just slipped through his fingers. One mistake after another. It all just piled up, and that's what allowed Barry Borman to get the move done. Borman saw the gap, saw the opportunity, made his way through. Jarno Opmeer, understandably, with his head in his hands. It's been a harsh day in the Red Bull garage. It will be a second-place finish for Freddie Rasmussen, but I'm sure he will not be happy with that result either. Jarno Opmeer started 6th position on the grid, finishes all the way down in 11th, outside of the points.
Let's have a look at the defining moment of the race. This was the last lap. This was the last real overtaking opportunity. Rasmussen wide into the first turn, the pressure telling, contact between the two of them, stand on the power, take the race lead. They nearly locked wheels, wheel on the grass. I thought at that point it was going to be Ruben Pedreño's first win. Right about here, I thought it was going to be Ruben Pedreño's first win. Freddie Rasmussen backing out of it and still across the line. It was only 0.3 of a second. Top step of the podium for Barry Borman.
Well, Rasmussen, a driver that always keeps his composure. The last thing I would have expected was for Rasmussen to fall for a dummy down into turn 1. Borman just shown his nose on the inside, and Rasmussen reacted exactly how the Ferrari man planned. But Barry Borman walking away with the victory by 3/10 over Freddie Rasmussen, who will take home 19 points with the fastest lap to his name as well. Ruben Pedreño comes home in 3rd, so close to that victory if there was contact between the top two. Nico Longe coming home in 4th. From Otis Lawrence, the Alfie Butcher, the McLaren pairings coming home in 6th and 7th. Great recovery from Jake Benham. It was a difficult qualifying session there from the McLaren driver in 15th, but fighting his way through to 7th, Alex.
Yeah, then it's Ismail Fassi, Duncan Hovland, Jarno Opmeer being shown as 10th in the classification, but that's an interesting one. Alvaro Carreton in 11th, and Manley, Crozen, Tormula, Tycho Hardy, Tamascal, Josh Edu, and Thomas Ronhaar retired, having had contact into the wall. Dramatic moment in a race that you had to wait a while for the decisive act, but it had all the action at the very end. And Crozen got the 1-second penalty, so that's why Opmeer was promoted to the final points-paying position. That's why he's listed there. All right, lots to talk about, lots to reflect on. Ruben Pedreño is in conversation with Nicola in the arena.
Ruben, do you remember what you said to me after quali?
Yeah, that I was going to be back here on an interview, so it happened.
Here you are. I mean, that was a stellar job there from you, but it looked like that last lap got so close to either potentially you winning or completely crashing out.
Yeah, when I saw Barry going for the move, I was like, yeah, the win is mine. They are going to die. Only Freddie went off track, had to avoid him, almost lost the position with Nico, but yeah, like I was playing for the podium, so difficult to overtake. I had one chance and Barry completely took the DRS and it was over for me. So yeah, it was a race just to take the points, get another podium. My second ever podium, it's insane. So yeah, really happy with the race.
So second ever podium, in which you would say is your favourite track, is Zandvoort. The other one is Bahrain. Do you have another favourite track that we can kind of look ahead to here?
Maybe Kota coming up next. Who knows? Maybe another one this afternoon.
I mean, yeah, babe. I mean, you've got a little break now, and then we've got quali for Kota, and then the race for Kota. So, in terms of your levels, are we going Zandvoort, Bahrain, Kota?
It looks like this year Kota is up there, so maybe. Who knows?
I feel like this is super exciting for you. And there was a part of me, because I was watching the race earlier, I was sat with Tom Deacon, we were watching the race, and we saw that Freddie was right at the top of the list. And I saw that it said then Barry Borman and it said your name. And I was just watching your name in P3 for so long, going, I really hope he stays up there so I can chat to him again.
Yeah, wanted more, of course. When you are in those positions, especially after getting that podium already in Bahrain, it doesn't feel as good in a way, because I wanted that win and I want it. But yeah, of course, a podium like 15 points, especially after not scoring even 2, like feels insane also for the team, like pumps us up a lot. So yeah, I think we might move up a bit in the standings, also myself as driver, so yeah, in the top 10.
Well, we're going to have a look at the standings a little bit later on. But, I mean, yeah, in terms of points for you, fantastic. But points for the team are super important right now, aren't they?
Yeah, we were desperately for points after that event too. Coming out event 1 in P6 or P5, I don't remember. And after last event was disappointing. And let's hope that with Kota as well, we can move even farther up.
And then we've got event 3. Is there any other potential future tracks that you're also really excited about?
All of them. Podium, you know.
Oh, Ruben Pedreño. That's how we're going to finish it off. Tom, back to you in the studio.
Thank you so much, Nicola. Well, they're happy down there in the arena. I'm very happy here because I've got a Ferrari ambassador and your Ferrari race winner back-to-back now around Spa. Barry Borman, congratulations. That was one epic last couple of laps, eh?
Yeah, I mean the race was just like it was. We knew it going to the race. It would be a really tough race because both strat could work pretty well. At the same time, I just want to speak about how happy I am to be here, and obviously, this win I think means a world to me. It just means it's literally better than any win that I got. To me, this one, because of how much mentally it was really tough for me that I'm missing these races and I had to watch it, and I just was keep telling myself never give up and you will come back at it, and yeah, I'm just so happy.
Well, that's testament to your resolve and keep going. 9th win in F1 sim racing. Fantastic to see. I didn't know if it was going to happen. This guy's been all across this, as he calls it, the big iPad. So let's go to it. Brendan, you see a fellow competitor here. What did you notice about this?
Well, first of all, I'd like you to talk me through your race-winning overtake. So we've got Fredrik Asmussen up ahead. So talk us through it, Barry. What was you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, here, first of all, I thought the move is not happening because of my gear went like one down. And then here I just showed the inside for just to try something. And then it worked. Freddie made a mistake in the braking for some reason that, it's quite rare from Freddie, such a good driver, so much respect to him. And then I just see the gap, like you can see he just fully locked the front. I just see the gap and, I just went for it. And then from here, the tires are fully gone. I had a moment, you can see.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Correction there.
Yeah, and then I just giving him fully space. And then going to this corner, I just, just going there, 4th gear. I'm just getting the inside, but Freddie just trying to get there. We stuck together. It looks, I'm just trying to turn, but the car is not turning because we got stuck together a bit.
Yeah.
And at the end, I got the momentum out of turn 3 and got the move done. Just super happy with it. Genuinely, it was just...
What was your heart rate? Do you know at that point?
No, I wasn't thinking about it. Or probably if I would focus on it, I could probably hear it.
Yeah. I mean, it was superb. Anything else you noticed about Barry's race? It was being patient, wasn't it, Brendan? Looking for that one opportunity. You showed him the inside, and that mistake happened, which you say is so rare for Freddie.
Yeah, and I think the key word is patience, because the whole race was building up, and getting up to lap 35, and also having the courage and conviction to stay calm when missing half the season. Full testament to you as well. I do want to pick up on this, because you sort of elaborated it a little bit, and this is where hard racing is really drawing the line, because ultimately you and Freddie are going side by side into the corner, and for people who have not played the game at home, you do get a little bit of wheel hooking. So Barry is still turning to the right-hand side and trying his best to leave the adequate space in that situation. But as I've said a million times on this broadcast before, I wear red and he's wearing red as well. So, but I can just say it's part of the game, and also just something to take into consideration. Any other closing statements from you, Barry?
No, I just what you said I think is the best, it was just perfectly, as Brendan said, it's just really patient, because in Zandvoort the tire is super high and we have been saving tire for whole race, and I just knew I'm gonna get one chance at the end, and I didn't even fully get it. Freddie just made the mistake and gave me the chance, and I'm really happy that I fully took it. And as I said, like, this win means really much to me, and it's just unbelievable feeling.
I know what will make you feel even better is when we head over to that sofa in just a moment, because the first thing Barry said when he came over is, I thought I was going to join the sofa. I've watched all the winners so
Yes,
far.
yeah.
We've missed you. It's great to have you here. Brendan, you've got another clip, potentially.
Sweet. I want to show you actually what happens when it does go wrong. Almost the same sort of circumstance with the two cars racing together. Thomas going around the outside of Tom, so actually the opposite of what Barry did in this situation. But as we go into corner 2 of the lap, towards the end of the race as well, so still fighting for those points-paying positions. And this is going to be through the exit. Apologies, we have a little bit of jittering in this situation. Wheel-to-wheel contact, the same as Bahri and Freddie had. But as you can see, this is when it goes over the line and you start pushing each other off the road. So this is actually what Bahri and Freddie was able to avoid doing, and this is what happens if you do go over the line, you can end up in the barrier. So that shows also the respect that Freddie and Bahri have towards each other, and unfortunately for Thomas and Tom, they didn't quite have that same level of respect.
Yeah, well, any other clips, Brendan, before we head over to the sofa? Because I know Bahri just wants to get on over the sofa, enjoy the win, go and join Nicola Hume. Anything else?
We do have one from lap 1. Unfortunately with Tico, he was able to send it down the inside but not get it stopped. I think he just missed his braking point, to be honest. Nothing malicious, tagged the wheel and went around in quite an unlucky way. But again, showing just how easy it is. And I've done that mistake plenty of times, so it's really nothing to be ashamed of.
Right, Brendan, Bahri, come on over. The Ferraris are coming in to join myself and Nicola here. It was brilliant to see. Bahri, you get to join us. A hug as well. Why not? We have missed you and you're back. What does it mean to you?
This sofa is just amazing.
Talk more about that. F1 will really appreciate that. But again, you've got a brilliant team behind you. You know what it can do. Ismail Fassi doing a great job to move on up the grid, pick some points. Have you set a target now for Event 3? As a team in general, like what can we possibly do?
I'm just basically I really, our main target is to get up to Constructor Championship. Obviously, we missed a lot of points, and I just want to help the team to get an ISMA. But first, obviously, the team to get up to up places to the constructor, and obviously, if I have a chance, like if you're P1, P2, or like ISMA is behind me and I can help him, obviously I'm just going to help him because obviously I am out of the championship. But he has a lot to win, so that is what we mentioned. And obviously, he's doing an amazing job. Just a really tiny mistake in Q2, and obviously we know how this grid. Everyone is just so talented. Everyone is just on the same pace, and you do one tiny mistake, and you're just out. Like it's just like that, really.
Come on, I can hear people at home going, there's another 4 races. Bahri, don't give up yet. Let's look at the driver standings to see those points and what it's done after that race is, of course, the provisional adjudication team working behind the scenes as well. So Otis Lawrence there moving further in the lead. Wow, it's actually been cut back by Freddie Rasmussen. A podium for him. You didn't get to chat to him. I imagine Freddie frustrated with what happened there after getting it on pole.
Yes, a very frustrated-looking Freddie. So it felt like it was right to kind of give him his space at that moment because that last lap.
Yeah.
That was the noise in that space, in that arena. It was everyone behind the cameras just suddenly going, oh, just watching that last lap happen. And then by the end of it, the applause that was heading your way with everyone that was just so pleased for you to be back on top.
Yeah, I mean, everyone here, especially you guys, everyone here been super nice to me that I finally come back, and I just really appreciate it. And as I said, I'm like, sometimes I go to like, we have like a Ferrari room, and when I want to go to like somewhere, I get lost to the building because I'm not used to the building. I don't know the building.
He's still getting his bearings. That's worrying.
Exactly.
He's still getting his bearings.
Give him a minute.
Yeah. And the fact that you went over to Freddie after he put it on pole, you were the first person. So I think that what goes around comes around, that love is sort of spread and appreciation for another driver. You mentioned about the constructors, team standings. Let's have a quick look at it. What does that do for this situation? And there you go. It's going to be a Ferrari moving up to 4th at the moment. So definitely not out of this in any way, but Oracle Red Bull Racing, 2 brilliant drivers stacking up the points, but anything can happen. What are you going to do now, Bahri? That's the question everyone wants to know. What are you going to do now before the next race? Because you don't get much rest time.
I'm gonna enjoy my win for another 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna fully focus and fully reset my head for Kota. It's a really, really tricky track. Like you just do one mistake, you lose like 2 tenths. It's a really tricky track, so I just want to get my head in a correct, what does it say? Like
mentality.
Yeah, correct mentality to be prepared heading to qualifying, and hopefully I can have the same result.
Yeah, you've just mentioned about the next race. Quali is starting In that amount of time, it's up on your screen right now. We love a countdown. It makes me actually quite anxious about that. Brendan, Kota's coming up. Looking forward to this one. What can, if you were to set the scene for quali, how would you set the scene so that everyone comes back to watch?
Send it.
Okay, fair enough.
Every
Absolutely.
time.
Every time.
Send it. He wants spice. You want chaos.
Bit of spice,
Yeah.
bit of chaos,
Yeah.
bit of crashing along the way. It'll be all right.
Okay, well, there you go.
Every time.
I think you've perfectly set it up there. Barry, once again, congratulations on that win. I know how much that means to you, and to get your words is fantastic. You've got another 4 minutes to enjoy it now for that race win. Nicola, thank you so much. And to our commentators, Alex Jakes and Kai Bacchini. Right then, the timer was up. That's when you know you need to be back here to join us for the F1 Sim Racing 2026 World Championship. Oh, it is becoming very spicy. We'll see you then.